And welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 Git Good series, where I help people get through the game if it's your first time playing. The reason why I'm doing this is because I've noticed a lot in the community. Like, this game brought a lot of new players, and whenever you ask a seasoned player for help, all they say is get good and don't actually help you, which is annoying as fuck. So instead of just saying the words get good, I'm actually gonna help people get good in a sense by walking them through the game. So we're back on the next episode, and I decided to put on this new shirt for my character. You know, he's been running around with no shirt, and then Jesus, what happened to his face? Oh shit, what happened? I'm just fucking around. So I just wanted to show you this real quick, in case you wanted to do it. In my last video, I mentioned what you had to do with one of the merchants and how you can go hollow, which essentially makes you look like a zombie. So this is what happens when you do die enough to look like a zombie. I had to jump off a few cliffs to get this way, and then now this guy's dead because I used him 5 times, and this merchant's here now. I've already bought the ring that I wanted. You have to do this in order to get this particular ring because she's the only merchant that sells it. And what it actually does, it does two things. Um, so one thing it does, if I can find it amongst all these rings, there we go, is it lets you keep your human appearance even though you've gone hollow, which is cool because now I look normal again. The other thing it does, though, which is what I wanted it for, is whenever you're doing co-op, whenever you do co-op, you show up in the host world as a phantom, which this ring gives you the appearance of the phantom. So I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what you look like when you're playing co-op and you're not the host, which is, I guess, okay, but if you want, if you really want, put a lot of time and effort in your character and want to always play as your character, then you need this ring here, which when you go into someone else's world, you'll still look the way you will look, so you'll look like the host as well. So it's a cool little item, and that's the reason why I wanted it. So if you are hollow and you're trying to get that ending, that requires you to go hollow, and you don't want to look that way, you could either one, wear this ring, or another thing you can do, which is more costly, but it frees up a slot for your ring, is if you use a purging stone, then it'll actually cure you of your hollowing, so it reverses the hollowing, and then you won't need to wear the ring anymore. Now you'll still have the dark sigil, so it'll still, dying will still cause you to turn into a zombie, but at least you won't have to wear the ring for that time until you turn into a zombie again. Then you'd have to either put on the ring or use another one of those purging stones. The purging stones can be purchased from this merchant here. That same lady, she sells them. They're 4,500 each. So they're pretty, like I said, it's pretty costly. But I mean, you can die a few times before you. I'm actually gonna buy all eight of them, as many as I can. You can die a few times before you actually, have the zombie appearance, anyways. So you probably won't, depending on how many times you die, you may not go through them that fast. But if you went through all the ones you have and you don't have enough souls to buy another stone, then just wearing the ring will fix you right up. So let's go ahead and move on to the next area here. So what we're going to do is travel to here at the dilapidated bridge. Just gonna do just one piece of I guess you could call it housekeeping, and then we'll move on to the next area. Now we want to go here because we've got to unlock that gate that we just got the key for. Which is down here. At least you should have gotten the key for that. If you didn't, then you'll want to get it from that old lady. Right when you give her that ash you found. Oh, here's another thing. Let's talk about this real quick. So, request absolution is if you've killed an NPC or invaded another player's world and killed the player, then that makes you a sinner, quote unquote. So, use absolution to be absolved of your sins, and then dissolution will cure your curse. So if you've gone hollow, here's another way you can cure it. You can actually just buy the cure here, and it'll cost I believe it's 100 times your hollowing level or something like that. I can't remember how it goes, but either it costs souls either way to do it. So that's the other way you can cure your hollowing. But it's kind of annoying because you have to always come back here. It's just better to either carry the purging stones or just use the ring. And go through here and kill some skeletons. Oh, that was a good swing. There we go. Stupid bone men. Got us a soul item here. And these are gonna wake up. He was missing an arm, but still coming with it. I turned the HUD off too, because I think it looks a little better. Well, it's on auto, because there's always going to be a time where you need to see what your health is. So. Now that thing is going to drop down here, and we're going to swing on it. What it does. There we go. How or why it could survive that fall, I do not know, but it can. Okay. Then there's an item there. If you remember your trusty bow from the first video, the first area, the one you find, you should always keep it on you along with some arrows, because they're going to be needed. That's one of the things they're needed for, is getting that item there, that shield. And speaking of shields, let me get mine, because a bunch of rats come out. Okay, that takes care of that. I think that's all of them. Then here we get a Saint's Talisman, which is what the item you need to cast miracles. Or one of the items. You either use chimes or a talisman. The Herald starting class comes with a talisman, and the priest comes with a chime. But if you started as something else and decided you wanted to use miracles, there's one place you could find a talisman. And then here's the whole reason why we came this way. Was to grab her, which is another merchant for the Firelink Shrine. So you just want to exhaust her dialogue and then accept her service. And off the Firelink she goes. Now this door can be opened, and the other thing that it's useful for is talking to this guy. So you exhaust his dialogue, and let me make sure what's okay. And you'll want to make sure you exhaust his dialogue after rescuing her, because it comes in handy later on, especially if it's your first playthrough. It'll come in handy. So, oh, wrong way. Actually, no, this isn't the wrong way. I'm sorry. We do want to go up. And as soon as you hear that, you want to roll off the elevator. I don't know why I thought I was going the wrong way. So when you get on the elevator, make sure you turn and face this direction. As soon as you hear that, you roll off. And we're going to talk to this guy, which is another side quest. If I get started up, we'll run into him numerous times in the game. So you talk to him. Until his dialogue's exhausted, which it is. And what he's talking about is there's a, see that big monster back there? He's contemplating fighting it. Now if you remember, we knocked down that body to get this ring here, which is the flame stone plate ring. It's a good one to have because that's, as you can see, that's a fire monster. So he's thinking about how to beat it. We're just going to go down there and fight it. But as you can see, he'll come and join the fight. Now you want to make sure he survives. If you want to complete his side quest, I mean, it won't cause you to lose the game or anything if he doesn't, but if you want to meet him in later parts of the game, you want to make sure he survives. Which he does a good job of surviving, because this thing isn't all that strong. Oh, and right when I say that, he kills me. I was trying to heal myself, but for some reason, I was moving in slow motion. Alright, so we're going to make our way back over there. Trying to think what's the fastest way I can get them. We'll just go. Just run that way. Get as close to the door as we can. There we go. Then these skeleton things would be down here. So we'll just get past them. And then as you can see, I died, but I'm not. Wow, what were they doing in the hole? Anyways, I was saying, I had died, but I'm not a zombie yet, because you can die a few times before you actually become a zombie. In the old Souls games, you die once and you were instantly a zombie. But this gives you a few chances before it turns you into a zombie, which is kind of cool. And this thing is going to take us down, so let's do that. this. Yeah, but what I was trying to do is heal myself. And it didn't work out as planned. Okay. So he reset himself, so let's do this again. I like how he came to fight first, and then swung on the monster before saying, no, you should have waited. And that's that. And then you want to exhaust his dialogue again. So he gives you that seek brew. And you'll also get a gesture if it's your first time, if it's your first playthrough. But since it's New Game Plus, I already got it. Oh, you know what? I can put my ring back on. There we go. And here's another armor set. Oh no, that's a Covenant item. I'm sorry, the item set's over here. If I can get it knocked down. Guess I could always just shoot an arrow at it, but that's a waste of bullets. There we go. And that's the Northern armor set, which is the set that the warrior uses, the warrior class. Which is a pretty good set. It's got pretty good defense, and it's kind of, I'd say it's about medium weight. It's not as heavy as the Knight's plate mail, but it defends pretty good. So actually the class I started with when I made this character was the warrior, since I had all those points in strength already, and I knew I was going to do strength. An alluring skull there. It's gonna be one of those dog things over here. I forgot how many. Yeah, there it is. There's two. I'll get the other one to attack. Yeah, and then get rid of these things. And this is what I was talking about. See how the chain is curved around that way? That's how you know if it's a regular treasure chest. But like I said, if you have trouble seeing it, or if you just want to be safe, just swing at it once. If it doesn't get up and try to eat you, then it's safe. So. When you open this, though, those things do come down. But dealing with those is a lot better than getting eaten up by the treasure chest if you try to open it and it's really a monster. Because that will actually kill you in one hit. And hopefully you remember to carry your bow, because we're going to need it for this. Because you never want to fight. If you can avoid fighting more than one enemy at a time, you want to do it. Especially those things. Excellent. I'm going to pick this up. One of those things must have dropped it. Alright, perfect. So now, just want to go over this way and just going to do the hug. They dropped their hat. Alright. This is the end of the housekeeping. There's just a few things to get from up here. I'll show you. There's this ring you pick up. And then the other thing is you want to roll over here. And grab this homeward bone, which is important. And then the other thing you want to grab is this armor set, which is down there. So what you'll want to do, it's kind of a pain, but you'll want to jump over to that ledge at the far end. You see that? So jump across there, and then you just drop. And it is an armor set, a unique armor set. It's not one of the starter sets. There's a ring there you can use. And I can't remember if there was anything on the outside or not. No, there isn't. And then this looks familiar, right? You back through there. Let's just get out of here. And I'm not sure how that worked, but it did. Let's go that way. Then we're back where we want to be, to the next area. Now this next area doesn't have a boss, interestingly enough, but the area after it does. So here we are, the road to sacrifices. Let's go ahead and heal up. And you're definitely going to want a shield in this area. These things they grow wings before they go to attack you, so while they're doing that, in that animation, you can kind of get some swings on. Their attack patterns are super wild, and they're fast, and they hit hard, so you gotta hit them fast and hard first. There's one over here. Let's take care of. So this is another part where your bow would come in handy if you remembered to bring one. Well, that works too. I don't know why it opted to kill itself like that, but it did. Okay. There we go. I guess I could have went over and fought that other one, but now that purple stuff that they do is actually poison. So you want to try to avoid that. It does take a little bit. You have to stand in it for a while. Or for... It doesn't instantly poison you, is what I should say, because it depends on your resistance on how long it takes. So you can run through it real quick and hit the enemy while it's casting it if you want it. Titanite shard there. We're going to come back around. And there's some goodies down here. But risk versus reward again, because there's an enemy that's relatively strong right there. So it's kind of reminiscent of that samurai guy from earlier. From the first episode. Same deal. So risk and reward if you want to take it on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it will throw that to try to poison you. Oh, the phantom range on that is ridiculous. Okay. Then you get to get her weapon for doing that. And risk versus reward, you get a unique set of armor there, which is actually a starter set from the first Dark Souls game. Then you get a special weapon there. And they're all for the same set, so it was the brigand armor, the brigand daggers, and then that first thing we picked up was the brigand axe. And if you want to, this part here, if you want to play it safe, you get your trusty bow again, and then kind of pick them off. And if you want it to be tough, I guess you could, and just run through here and fight them, but doesn't seem too smart to do, but you could. See, because there's a lot of them. So it's best to just break out your bow and do it that way, pick them off. It's not too bad if you have your bow and enough arrows, If you kill this thing first, then it can't wake up the others. But if you're too loud, I mean, they might hear you anyway and come out. So, I mean, do it however you feel comfortable. But once you get through there, we come here to the bonfire. And here we meet up with another side quest character. You want to make sure every time you meet one of these people, you exhaust their dialogue. And at one point they will show up in Firelink's shrine. Is that everything? Okay. They will show up in Firelink's shrine at one point, and you want to talk to them there also. And then that's this area. Like I said, this section doesn't really have a boss. You just go from here to the next bonfire. The next boss will be after the next section, which is through that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, and then on the next video we'll pick up from here and go on to the next area. I appreciate y'all watching again. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next episode.